Never bought a souvenir I've been more proud of. What's up guys, Mystic7 here today for actually upload number 2 of the day. The first one was an amazing upload. If you guys have not seen it, it was me catching the Kangaskhan finally, which means I filled out 100% my regional Pokedex, my global Pokedex, which is like a humongous moment for myself and for this channel. So check that out if you guys haven't already, it's on the channel. Now the second video is equally as important because the second video is about a bunch of just new update stuff that I haven't been able to keep up on for Pokemon Go, because right now as we speak, I'm currently 3 days ahead on videos. So you're seeing things that happened 3 days ago on the channel, and if you guys are following, I said this before, if you guys are following my Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, you guys will see everything happen literally 3 days before it actually happens on the channel. So that's kind of why I want to sit down and do kind of like a sit down talk video about all the recent news, recent updates, because we got some big stuff that came out yesterday, came out today, and just stuff I want to cover and get up on the channel because I won't be able to cover any of this for the next couple of days, and it's gonna be way old news by then. Now before I get into this, make sure to leave your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below regarding all this information, because this is all very big, actually really awesome information. Some is great, some is like but all of it is definitely worth talking about. So let's just start off and talk about where our progression is right now in this challenge, in the trainer, in the Global Catch Challenge. By the way, remember, I am sponsored by Niantic, so just throwing that out there. When recording this, we're currently at 1.2 billion Pokemon caught. Actually, really quickly, this video is supposed to be uploaded yesterday, and it's being uploaded today because I didn't have time to finish editing because we went to the Australia Zoo, which was probably the best thing that has happened to me this entire trip, and the video for that will be insane later on this week. Totally off the point. We hit 1.5 billion. We hit it. We hit that today, like I think about an hour and a half ago, which means we do have the double XP. We've got the increased spawns, 2 times increased spawns, 6-hour lure times, and now the double Stardust, and that also means that we are halfway there to unlocking Farfetch'd globally. So I kind of just want to throw that out there. Just know that we did actually get to 50%. We're at 1.5 billion, so you guys should have double Stardust, and yeah, which means we're less than 300 million away from that double Stardust bonus, which is really all I want. I just want the double Stardust because we've got the 6-hour lure times, which if you guys have an area in your town or a city that you're in and the 6-hour lure times have made it completely just stupid dummy lit, tweet me a picture because Brisbane has been nuts with the 6-hour lure time. So we've got 6-hour lures, we've got double XP, which is great, and now we're about to unlock the third reward, which is the double Stardust, which is humongous, which is, again, that's just really all I want out of here. And we should, by this weekend, people have been doing some calculations and kind of guesstimations as to when we'll get the Kangaskhan and the Farfetch'd Global. Kangaskhan only in Asia, and then Farfetch'd Global. It's looking like we should have it by this weekend, definitely before this event is over, which is stupid exciting if you guys do need your Farfetch'd, because obviously I don't, because I've gotten it, but you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys need it. So we need to hit that 3 billion mark, and we're getting there, and we should get there by this weekend, hopefully. And talking about Pokemon Go on their Twitter, they tweeted out, trainers Pokemon Go is being updated to version 0.83.1 for Android and 1.53.2 for iOS. Release notes here. And these are just really small release notes. Added support and made optimization for the iPhone X screen resolution. I got a lot of complaints about that. Removed support for devices running iOS 8, so you gotta have above iOS 8. Resolved a bug causing error banners to remain visible until the app is restarted. I've had that a couple times, very annoying. Restarted a bug, resolved the bug that prevented trainers from powering up Pokemon to their max CP. You can now power up Pokemon to the max CP levels, which is awesome, crazy. We'll talk about that later. Improve load times when you open the app, various bug fixes, and performance updates. So that was just kind of like a standard, pretty good, honestly, quality of life update for Pokemon. Actually, you know what? For a quality of life update, that was like, those were little things, but it was really good. And yes, there was a data mine on this, and yes, there was fun stuff in it. We're gonna talk about that in a bit. Another tweet from Pokemon Go. This is one of the biggest, most relevant, most important tweets and articles that Pokemon Go shared in a very long time. And the tweet was, trainers, we want to give you an update on raid battles with this awesome picture of Mewtwo, and then a link to an article where they talk about a lot of really awesome, interesting, insightful stuff that we're gonna talk about now, and I'm gonna explain the relevance of this because this is huge. Before I get into this, just remember how closed off Niantic has been with this entire community. They have not communicated well with us. They have not really given us super big insight into kind of like what they're thinking, what they're doing with the game. They kind of just threw updates out and didn't say anything, didn't do anything. There's not been communication between Niantic and between YouTubers, and then between Niantic and then community, and that is all changing right now, which is freaking awesome. So let me read this article, we're gonna go through it. Trainers, we greatly appreciate all the feedback you've shared with us about the raid battle feature over the past few months. We've been carefully reviewing your feedback and will be making a few changes to the feature in response. These improvements will not require you to update your app, but they will impact your gameplay. Below are a few notes detailing the changes as well as a few comments from our development team. We have never had comments from the development team of Niantic. We have never had the thoughts of Niantic added into these updates, which is humongous. If you guys don't know how significant that is, let me just explain. That is ridiculously significant because then we kind of get an idea, we get a feel, we get a sense of what Niantic is doing with the game, where they're trying to move it, what their motives are behind the updates, what they're doing, which is massively important to kind of knowing, predicting, and feeling out the future of this game. That's huge. Let's talk about the EX raid battle changes because there have been countless complaints about the EX raid battles that I've gotten, that Niantic's gotten thousands of complaints, rightfully rightfully so, because the EX raid system, honestly, in my opinion, has been kind of somewhat high-key broken throughout these beta phases. But remember, that was just the test phase. This is now the actual EX raid phase rolling out. This looks like the real deal right here. EX raid battle changes. EX raid battles will take place most commonly at gyms found in parks and sponsored locations. Trainers with a high-level gym badge are more likely to be invited to an EX raid battle taking place at that gym. Trainers who have completed a large number of raid battles are more likely to be invited to EX raid battles. EX raid battle start times now take into account popular raid times at the gym. Trainers invited to EX raid battles will receive an in-game notification for the EX raid battle. If the EX raid battle is canceled, trainers will receive Stardust and premium raid passes when an EX raid battle is canceled. Let's talk about this. So EX raid battles taking place most commonly at gyms in parks and sponsored locations. Sponsored locations make sense just because, I mean, this is probably contractual with Niantic and the sponsors, and really you should know where your neighborhood, what Starbucks and Sprint, you should know where the sponsored stops are around your neighborhood, because like you know what a sponsored stop looks like. So that's nice, and usually these sponsored places are in public areas, so you don't have to worry about going there when, you know, it's closed down, or you don't have to worry about it being closed down because it's usually just a generally just very public place. Parks, gyms found in parks, that is awesome because Niantic is so big about getting out, exploring, going to fun new green places, and parks are probably the best place to go for Pokemon Go when it comes to going out, getting out and exploring, finding good nests and spawns and whatnot. Parks are great. Now this point with the trainers having a high level gym badge or more likely to get like a invite to the EX raid if it happens at that gym, that's a little for people like myself who have gyms all around them, and it's kind of hard for me to like just sit down, pinpoint, and grind one specific gym because I do so many raids at so many gyms in so many country, states, cities. It's kind of hard for me to take place on that, but for people who have, you know, your local couple gyms or your local couple, or just that area, your stomping grounds where you usually go for Pokemon Go, where, you know, raids happen, where EX raids might happen, for those people, for the grinders who grind those specific spots, this is an awesome update. This is one that should have been implemented from the start. Trainers who have completed a large number of raid battles are more likely to be invited to EX raid battles, and I know that's always kind of been a thing, but I've seen people with hundreds, sometimes thousands of raids completed with no EX raid pass. Hopefully this means that those people will actually get the EX raid invitations, and we'll see kind of an improved system with that. That's great. The fact that EX raid battle start times are now at popular times during the gym, that's a good system. That is pretty decent that they do that. Also, I haven't heard of many cases when an EX raid battle is canceled, but when it is, you do get reimbursed for that. Now let's talk about the important stuff, the awesome stuff, the developer comments. With this, we are getting an insight into the developers of Niantic, the people making this game, the behind the scenes knowledge and thoughts of Pokemon Go, which something that Supercell, I compare Pokemon Go to Supercell a lot just because Supercell is one of the biggest mobile gaming scenes ever. Supercell has always kind of done, not really always, but like they've kind of had that like, you know, developer thoughts, developer ideas, developer comments, developer interviews between YouTuber and developer, and now they're doing like real sit down interviews with developers about the future of the game and stuff like that. Supercell has mastered that, but it's taken them a long time to. Niantic, it's obviously taken them a very long time to do anything regarding the community, but now that they're really getting into it, they're doing it right. So let me read these developer comments. Over the course of the EX Raid Battle field test, much of the feedback we received was focused around how trainers are chosen to participate in EX Raid battles. When the feature first entered field testing, the system randomly selected a set of trainers who were eligible for the EX Raid battle. By taking gym badge level and total raid battles completed into account, we're able to give trainers who actively engage with the gym where the EX Raid battle is taking place and those who have invested more time into the raid battle feature a better chance of being invited to participate. That is going back to a lot of people were complaining because it was a very, very random, kind of silly system that didn't make a lot of sense when picking people for EX Raids. They addressed that right off the bat. We also wanted to address some feedback we received about the timing and locations of EX Raid battles. First, we're taking popular raid battle times at gyms where the EX Raid battle is taking place into account to help ensure many of the people who are invited will be able to participate. The reason we decided to have EX Raid battles primarily take place at gyms located in parks and at sponsored locations is to ensure the locations are easily accessible to trainers in the area. Over time, we'll explore hosting EX Raid battles at more locations, but we want to first make sure those locations are also easily accessible. With the EX Raids happening at sponsored locations and at parks, it's just easily accessible, just kind of a better area to do it. We think each of these changes will have a positive impact on trainers around the world. With the implementation of these features, we'll be removing the field test label and considering this the official launch of the EX Raid Battle feature. While the EX Raid Battle field test is coming to a close, we'll continue to monitor your feedback and look to make more improvements as we will do with all of Pokemon Go's features. That's awesome! So you heard it right there, EX Raid Battle field testing is coming to a close and we'll officially see the rollout of the real, the one, the only, the official EX raid battle system, the new and improved one as well, because as you can see from here, it's gonna be a good system. They've taken into account all of our thoughts and they've shared theirs. That's awesome. Oh, actually, let's talk about some raid battle changes here. Trainers will now receive golden raspberries for completing raid battles. The numbers of potions and revives awarded to trainers for completing a raid battle will decrease slightly, but the quality of potions will increase. That's cool. The likelihood of receiving fast and charged technical machines for completing a tier 3 or higher raid battle has increased. Trainers will now receive Stardust for participating in a raid battle. Whether they win or lose, Magikarp will make a triumphant return to the tier 1 raid battles. They're finally taking into account the tier and the difficulty of raid bosses, and this right here is just the foundation of hopefully more updates coming in the future where they add bigger, better, more awesome rewards to defeating higher level raids and higher tier raids. Tier 3 plus, you now get a higher likelihood of getting a TM. Again, that's just the base. That's a very, very basic reward, and I'm really hoping as time goes on, they add, again, like I said, bigger and better rewards for beating bigger and better raid bosses. You get Stardust from beating raid battles. Yes, dude, yes! With the double Stardust coming, that is money. And, I mean, from popular opinion, Magikarp has returned to tier 1 raid bosses, so we now have the Great Mighty Magikarp and the Great Mighty Metapod. Also, I was told to eat these TV snacks. They're okay. We actually do some developer comments on the raid battle changes as well. We want trainers to walk away from raid battles feeling like they've earned some amazing rewards even if the raid boss flees. To help make this more of a reality, we've made adjustments to the quality of items trainers receive after defeating a raid boss. The addition of Stardust rewards for participating in a raid battle will help trainers continue to power up the Pokemon they need to take on even more powerful raid bosses. That is great. Now, like I said before, knowing these thoughts and comments from the developers is humongous because now we know that they are considering, they're thinking about, they're working on giving rewards based on tier or giving more rewards, more incentive to go out in battle gyms, to go out and do raids, which is great because I really hope that this is just the base. Like I said, this is just the base, just the first little bit of additives they're giving to the game when it comes to the raid battles, and hopefully in the future, they add higher incentives, higher rewards, add more reasons for you to want to go out and raid these tier 3, tier 4, the legendaries, the EX raids. I really want to see more. I want to see daily challenges added, and I feel like this is a good start. This is a base for that too. And again, just seeing the thoughts and comments from the developers, we kind of know where they're going with this game, where their mind is at this game. We don't have to sit here and contemplate and think about and guess about what they're thinking, what they're doing with the game, where they want to go with the game. We kind of have an idea now, which is humongous. Okay, let me stop talking about this because that was very, very important, but we still have a little bit more news to cover. Let's talk about the data mine. Pokemon Go did a data mine, and apparently 9 new Generation 3 moves and Shiny Cleffa have been found in Pokemon Go's APK. Here's the code. The move Yawn Takedown, Draco Meter, Waterfall Surf, Psycho Boost, Doom Desire, Precipice Blades, and Origin Pulse have been found in the code, which are Generation 3 moves. Now, obviously, I'm not a Pokemon Go Generation 3 mastermind when it comes to like moves and abilities and any of that in general, or really names of Pokemon. Let me know in the comments, do those moves have are these like ability moves? Might we see abilities come to Pokemon Go with Generation 3? Will that? I don't know. Also, here's a screenshot of Shiny Cleffa, which is probably photoshopped, I want to say, but I don't know why out of all the Pokemon to bring into the APK, Shiny Cleffa was the one they decided, but who knows? Maybe we'll see Cleffa come out for an event for Christmas or for, I don't know. And I just want to read this little paragraph from the Pokemon Go Hub. So with all these moves having both textual and visual assets, the important question is what is still missing in order for their release? Honestly, nothing. The only thing that is needed is a Game Master File update which will assign these moves to concrete species and enable them in-game, which means Generation 3 is quite literally right around the corner. And again, every time a new generation is starting to come out, we kind of see these little signs, these little updates, these little additions of certain bits and pieces of code, and it all kind of, at the end, comes together into one big glob master game file update where we see all of the sprites, the movesets, just everything that has been added to the APK regarding the new generation all kind of comes together and is launched. And it looks like we're getting very close to that coming together and launching of Generation 3. We were told that December is when we might start seeing a little bit of Gen 3, and I'm not, again, just not sure what that means. I don't know if December will see all of Gen 3 or just a little bit of a sneak peek of Gen 3, kind of like we saw for Halloween. Either way, right now it's November 23rd when we're recording this, and Christmas, December, it's coming up. So that's exciting. And then I want to finish off this video with an article that Pokemon Go wrote up called Niantic Has Doubled Down. I'm gonna read this first paragraph right here. I and many others were skeptical when King Hanky said that Niantic is doubling down and that they are 100% committed to Pokemon Go. Hell, it sounded like a cheap last-minute PR trick pulled out of necessity to curb the growing resentment towards their Niantic's Harry Potter announcement. If you guys remember when Niantic announced Harry Potter, everyone, including myself, including Pokemon Go Hub, and just kind of a lot of people thought, all right, well, this is it for Pokemon Go. They're gonna start focusing on other games, they're gonna do other things. Pokemon Go will probably not get updates, we're gonna get slower updates. And if you guys have been keeping up to date with everything that's been happening with Pokemon Go through their social media, through the updates, through the everything, We were wrong. Niantic was not playing when they said they were doubling down. Now here's a short list, again, by the Pokemon Go Hub that has been composed of everything that we've seen in the past 1 week. Again, they have not been playing. This is everything we've seen in the past week alone after Niantic was like, listen, we're taking Pokemon Go seriously. For one, the Pokemon Go Travel and Global Catch Challenge has been announced, which is a humongous challenge. It's an awesome big community event, community effort. I know there was some controversy around it, but like we figured it out. We kind of, I guess, hopefully got past that. We're moving forward and we're gonna be okay moving in the future. Trainer tips, he was left out. I personally was pretty pissed off about that. Again, we've had conversations with Niantic. I think we're good. Another thing we've been seeing from Niantic and from Pokemon Go is constant updates on their social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, which is something we've never seen before from Pokemon Go, from Niantic. They're getting very, very involved with the community and with the updates. They're giving us this live count, not a live counter, but like live time updates as to, well, daily updates as to where we are on this Global Catch Challenge, when we unlock certain rewards, and when the rewards are unlocked, they happen right away. And I'm pretty sure that they tweet right away that it's unlocked, right? They are on top of their game right now when it comes to like keeping everyone updated and just kind of hyped and freaking going for this update event, which is phenomenal to see because they've never done this before and they're all over it now. We got our first ever developer update, our developer update notes, developer insights, thoughts of the people behind the game that we know, love, and grind, Pokemon Go. And I won't go into how like significant this is again because I've done it like 3 times this video, but again, it's very significant they're doing that. We also got an app update that came out this week, which was a it was a quality of life update, but it was a really good one. Some key things were fixed and it was a pretty cool update. And this is kind of overall really bringing the community kind of back together, back to life. You can see the rejuvenation of the community. I know I'm having more fun keeping up with all the Pokemon Go news and trying to make these crazy Australia videos and intertwine them with Pokemon Go. It's tough to do. I'm freaking dying over here, but like this is really, really awesome to see, and the community is definitely feeling it. If you guys have been feeling all the new updates, the Global Catch Challenge, all like Niantic's efforts to like keep the community engaged and keep us informed and all that stuff, let me know in the comments if you guys are feeling that. Is it actually making you guys want to play Pokemon Go? Are you guys more interested in the game and the Catch Challenge? Let me know in the comments. I am personally, and this isn't because I'm sponsored by Niantic, because everyone's gonna have that assumption of like, oh, he has to say everything nice about Niantic or everything nice about the updates. If you guys know me, I'm a very positive person. If you guys saw my video where I talked about my thoughts on Pokemon Go, I was being real during that, and I'm being real during this. This is seriously, I come from a community of Clash of Clans, right? Of Supercell that is really focused, centered, based around community, and that's why that game was so just stupidly successful, both Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, right? Like the collaboration between YouTuber and community and company was perfect. It was a perfect harmony. They flew people out to events, they did promotions, they did awesome big community events. Supercell killed it. And Niantic has done nothing up until now, and I'm watching them make these steps. I've been talking with them about it. I see them moving in the right direction, and I'm so happy that they're actually doing this stuff and they're moving towards making a real community out of Pokemon Go. And I'm not sure if a lot of you guys can see it like this, just because again, I'm coming from like years of experience through the eyes of a YouTuber, through the eyes of like a community leader. But trust me when I say this, Niantic is seriously making the right moves. And Pokemon Go 2018, although we all thought it'd be dead, I think it's gonna be a lot better than 2017, because 2017 was a pretty good year because we were still kind of like on the Pokemon Go hype train a little bit, but it's totally fallen off at the end here. Now it's really just the grind, the hardcore real Pokemon Go fans, and I think 2018, I don't know guys, it's got some big stuff in store for us, definitely, for sure. But from the looks of how they're treating their community, I think we're gonna have a pretty good year for Pokemon Go. All right, I'm gonna stop babbling because I have to edit this entire video and upload it today, and I've got a million other things to do. I actually tweeted, by the time this video is up, I should have already tweeted about like my daily schedule and like thought process when doing these crazy adventures. Go check that out on my Twitter if you guys haven't. If you guys want a little insight into the mind of Mystic 7 when these crazy travels and updates happen, I tweeted that out. I'm ending today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and keep up on all these awesome Australia videos because they are awesome, and I'm freaking in Australia. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.